In this video, I'm gonna give you 10 tips for apartment hunting around San Diego, next on Jaycation. Hey, what's up, Jaycationers? Welcome back to another video here in the San Diego series. Today we are here in Mission Bay on a beautiful day. Now we're kind of in between storms. Supposedly there's supposed to be a big storm coming in the next couple days, but right now it's sunny and 70 degrees. So I figured I'd come out to Mission Bay and give you some tips about apartment hunting in San Diego. So finding an apartment in San Diego can be a little bit difficult at times. You have to decide whether you're living at the beach or you want to be inland a little bit, or if you want to be situated near work, or if you want to be situated near your family. There's a lot of factors that go into apartment hunting in San Diego, and I'm just going to give you 10 tips that may help you out when searching for a place. The first tip I want to give you is the time of year to find an apartment. Apparently, January is the optimal time to find an apartment in San Diego. That's when rent rates dip a little lower and people aren't in the market as much looking for a spot. You know, it could be due to maybe college students not having to find a place. They're in the middle of the school year, or it's just being like the low time of year. But always remember that January is a great time to go apartment hunting in San Diego. Now, some of you might not even have the choice to pick the month, but if you can and you can help it, January is the perfect time, so make sure to take note of that. The next tip is the polar opposite, when to avoid moving to San Diego, and that's either in August or September. In August or September, a lot of people are moving here for the start of the school year or for a new job. A lot of kids from SDSU like living near the beach or living in areas that are highly sought after, like in Mission Valley or North Park. UCSD is another school that's really popular that people are looking for housing around the area in La Jolla. You also got USD just across the way here in Linda Vista. So there are a ton of people in August and September looking for a place to live. So that might be a time to avoid if you can avoid it. Now, before we move on to our next tip, if you're finding value so far in this video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you're just discovering my channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. I have tons of San Diego content in the library already and tons of content to come. I also do live streams and posts 3 to 5 times a week, so check it out and hit that notification bell so you get updates when I do post these videos. The third tip I'd like to talk about is dissecting a listing that you see online. Now, just because it says it's by the beach doesn't mean it's near the beach. Sometimes it'll say, oh, OB apartment, $2,000, and it's not at the beach like you're thinking. Like, you're not overlooking the water. You're actually a mile away up in Point Loma, up in the hill, and it takes you 10 minutes to get there by bike or 10 minutes to walk. So just be aware of that, especially if you're coming from cross country or don't have the opportunity to scout these places you're gonna live ahead of time. Just because it says on the listing near the beach doesn't always mean it's a beachfront property. Also, you want to be really cautious with what they say on these listings. If you can help it and you know somebody here, maybe have them check out the apartment and the area ahead of time, just so you know that it's a cool place and it's something that you're actually expecting. So just be aware of the listings, especially if you're coming to San Diego for the first time and trying to do your apartment hunting virtually. Next on the list is get a sense of the social scene and the neighborhood that you are trying to live in. Now, if you're in your 20s and you're looking to party, you might want to live in PB. But if you're a little older and you're over all the partying, you might want to be up in Encinitas and more of a chill vibe, but still have a nice little dating scene, especially if you're single. Or if you're growing a family, you might want to be up in Forest Ranch or Rancho Penasquitos. A lot of the neighborhoods here are different culturally and for different demographics. If you're going into a neighborhood knowing how the social scene is a little bit, it'll help you have a better time living there, especially if you're single or trying to raise a family. You're gonna feel a lot more comfortable, especially if it's more catered to your preferences. A place like North Park is really cool because you get a nice little vibe. It's a little more relaxed maybe right after you graduate college, North Park is a great spot to live in. For me, I always prefer living in the northern part of San Diego. I've always been in Mira Mesa. I'm always going to be biased to that. So if it were up to me, I'd live in Mira Mesa, Rancho Penasquitos, Carmel Mountain area. That's just my preference. Now, if I were to live in downtown and you were to ask me, I would say either the East Village, where we did a property tour with my friend Danny Quesada, who's coming up here pretty soon. I would also say maybe Little Italy. I think Little Italy is a great spot for a nice community of people. I think people in their 30s, even older people, would enjoy Little Italy. It's a nice place with a lot of great Italian eats, and it's not too far from the Bay and a lot of other parts around town. All right, Jaycationers, now we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna bring in my friend, Realtor Danny Quesada, to give you a couple of tips from a pro realtor about apartment hunting in San Diego.
Hey Jaycationers, it's Danny Quesada, your San Diego realtor. Here is my 2 tips when you're looking for apartment rentals. The first tip I would say, and this is a little bit out of the box, you create a list of property management companies who work in the area that you're looking to rent. So for instance, I'm gonna put my top 10 property management companies, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through that list. I'm gonna call them each one by one. It's gonna sound a lot like this. Hey, I'm looking for a rental in Rancho Bernardo for $2,200. I'm looking for at least 2 bed, 2 bath. Do you have anything incoming? And what you will find is a lot of these property managers have rental opportunities. They're just not ready to put it on Zillow, Redfin, and all these other sites. But what's really cool is you might have an opportunity to snatch something up before it even hits the main websites. So if you don't like to just sit around and wait, this is a little bit more proactive, but there are real results in it. Giving these tips to people who actually use them and get the rentals that they're looking for. My second tip into looking for apartment rentals, if you feel like you found the one, it's perfect, it fits, ticks off every box, don't do yourself a disservice by not going in the morning, afternoon, and evening time. I can't tell you how many times the community will appear one way and be completely different. And the last thing that you want to do is sign a year lease and then have to put up with a lot of things that you don't like. It could be road noise, it could be excessive trash, it could be noisy tenants. You don't know unless you check it out. So do your due diligence, check out these rentals, and make sure that it is what you're looking for. Scout it out. You want to make sure that the sense of community is what you're looking for. So what I would recommend is spend the day there. Leave, go do something else, come back, check it out. If you still feel the same way, it's likely the one, and you found the community you're looking for.
That was awesome, Danny. Thanks for being a great resource for people looking for properties here in San Diego. Now, Jaycationers, make sure to show Danny some love and subscribe to his channel. I have it linked down below. And now let's continue with the next tip. If you're single and you're moving to San Diego and on a budget, you might want to look into finding a roommate. That will save you a lot. I mean, it'll save you half or even less than half, depending on how big your rooms are, if it's 50-50 or if it's 60-40. You all have to decide it depending on the amenities that you're gonna be occupying while living in that apartment. A lot of people are coming here saying, oh, I wanna find a place for only about $1,600 by myself, a nice studio, and then they find all these places and they're just not as nice as you think. But if you were to get a roommate, maybe another single friend or somebody else that you feel like you can live with, I feel like if you get a 2-bedroom place, you could probably meet that budget and maybe even pay less than that budget. So look into getting a roommate if you are on a budget and moving solo to San Diego. It'll save you a lot of money and it'll help you out in the long run, especially if you're trying to save some cash. Now for this next tip, I want to shout out one of my viewers. He actually brought this to my attention. He said to watch out for certain moving companies. Make sure before you hire a moving company to see if they're legit, see what their ratings are, what their reviews are, see what other people's experiences have been, because he said that one of his coworkers moved here to San Diego and their stuff was held until that person had paid an extra fee. So for some reason they held their stuff before they actually moved it over here from a different part of the country to San Diego. So be aware. I haven't really heard much of it, but I'm sure it exists, that there is a moving company that is not really trustworthy. So make sure you just do your due diligence, research a little more, because you never know. And I like to shout out that viewer. I hope I could find that comment and put it down below here. It's just something that a person that's born and raised from San Diego wouldn't exactly know, because I haven't moved across country to San Diego. I've moved back from Barcelona to San Diego, but I'm already planted in here before in the past. So thanks for that comment. We're getting down to the final 2 tips. Now these aren't like top 10 tips, they're just not in any order. They're just 10 things that I listed down. Make sure you like this video if you're liking it so far and getting value. And number 2 is make sure the apartment complex or the condominium complex you're about to live in has all the amenities you need, whether it's a gym or a washer and dryer community area, or one for your actual apartment, or a business room, or a playground for your kids, or a dog park. Make sure that you get everything that you want in this apartment complex that you need. I know there's also other properties here in San Diego, condominium complexes where they have pools, and you can actually rent out their pool house for a day and throw a party, maybe have a little baby shower or a wedding shower over there one day. Check out that condo beforehand to see if they have it all, because some people don't want to travel far for the gym. Some people just want to go downstairs and run on the treadmill. Now the final tip for apartment hunting in San Diego has to do with the parking, especially if you're living in downtown or a place like North Park. Parking might be hard to find on the street, and sometimes they don't give you assigned parking. Sometimes these complexes only have 1 or 2 parking spots on their driveway, if any. You might end up having to park on the street. You got to know the rules. There might be times where there's street sweepers on Wednesdays and you can't park your car there. You don't want to end up with a ticket. So just be aware of parking in the complex that you're living in. Now, if you're living in a complex, also be aware of the extra charge that you're going to be paying for parking, especially if they have a garage per month, just so you're not surprised when you're about to sign that lease and they're like, oh, by the way, an extra $200 a month for parking down in that garage. Just be aware of it, and if you have more than 1 car, you need to get 2 spots. That price might be going up. All right, Jaycationers, I hope you enjoyed these 10 tips. I'd like to shout out my friend Danny Quesada. He's a realtor here around San Diego. Make sure you check out his channel. Also guys, if you'd like to subscribe and hit that notification bell, I have plenty more San Diego content to come. I'm really excited to see all the growth this past couple months, and thank you to all my new subscribers, and thanks very much to all my loyal longtime subscribers. I really appreciate you all, and also to my patrons who have been supporting me over the past year. It really means a lot to me. And if you want to join my Patreon community, I have extra benefits and exclusives, other video content on there, so make sure you check it out. I have it linked down below. And if you want to just talk on the Facebook group, I have a Facebook group that talks all things San Diego. It's about news, information, and up-to-date things going on around San Diego. It's called It's Always Sunny in San Diego. All right, Jaycationers, please like this video, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Now, in the words of Ron Burgundy, stay traveling, San Diego.